I'm Narelle Todd.
And I'm Essie Susan Smith.
We are the self-publishing author and marketing duo that has sold over 2 million books. But we didn't start out knowing how to sell books. Fast forward past many failed promotions and a lot of lessons learned, you will see how we went from self-publishing newbies to hitting the New York Times bestsellers list and making the USA Today Bestsellers list 19 times and counting. We created the Get My Book Out There podcast to give you simple yet effective marketing strategies to increase readership and book sales, so you know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, as well as some tips for staying mentally and physically well.
Let's get started.
And we've got a podcast for you today.
So, as you can see, demented symbiotes roaming the world.
And we're going to be talking about some really demented symbiotes that could be hiding in the publishing world.
Yes. So we all leading into talking about beware. So there are things that you will come across in your career. And if you're just starting out, you may not know what you need to be aware of because you don't know some of the pitfalls or actually what's going on behind the scenes. So we thought we would just share some of those sorts of things with you. So are you ready for Beware?
I'm thinking between the woo and the theme song from Jaws and like every horror movie, doom sounding thing that's coming up, we need all of those crashing down at once and putting a spotlight on especially all new coming in authors that are unfortunately coming in with, to me, a target on their back if they're not careful, and their forehead and their heart. It's the one on the heart that I worry the most about.
Yeah, it's really easy to get sucked in, I think, to something that looks like a really good deal or that's going to give you
promises,
a certain standing. Yes, promises. Whereas it potentially is just really making money for the person who's presenting those ideas to you. So we just wanted to give you a bit of an idea about some of the things to look out for. We obviously can't cover them all, but there's a couple of things that we see quite often. So we just wanted to share those with you just as an awareness exercise. Obviously, you get to make your own decisions because you're in charge of your business. But if you don't know, you don't know. So what will we share with them, Susan? What's a couple of things? What's one thing? What's your first thing that you see the most? And you just go, whoa.
I think the one that really upsets me the most is when I see certain groups targeting newer authors with, this glamour idea of, come be in this anthology with 40 other authors that we're going to sell a book for 99 cents and you can make the USA Today Bestsellers list. And while that sounds fabulous, and yes, there's been a lot of people who've gotten that nice little tag, there's some pretty significant pitfalls that come with that. And not just, the fact that monetarily it doesn't do anything for you, but it can have even a more of a negative effect on you mentally. So I think diving into that might be a good first thing to look at.
Okay. So one of the things that obviously any writer wants to do is be seen as being successful. And one way that we judge that is things like the USA Today bestseller list or the New York Times bestseller list. If you've made one of those, you're successful. And obviously there are people who prey on that and, will say, join this anthology. It's, however much for you to pay to join, and then you'll need to pay for the ads and some other things out there. So, you could be looking at being out at least a couple of $100, anywhere from $400 to $1,000, really. There's no guarantee that you will make, say, the USA Today, which is the most likely list that you would make with an anthology like you've described. There's no guarantee, but if you do make it, you get the letters, which is fantastic. However, I think the thing to think about is what's the result of getting those letters? You might be a USA Today best-selling author, but if you're not actually selling books, does it have any meaning? The impact. What if you say instead spent your $400 or your, up to $1,000? What if you spent that money on something which really grew your author business? So with the ultimate aim of you making the list yourself. you can make the list yourself. That's the thing.
And that's one of the things that, upsets me the most is seeing people that are gaming it, because that's why the New York Times changed the way their listing is because there was too many people out there gaming and spamming the system. And none of us likes gaming and spamming. We don't like to be gamed or spammed. We hate the prince, whatever, from La La Land, who's inherited all this money, who's going to give it to you if you would just send them, $1,200 in gift cards. We get these kind of spams and gaming at the system all the time. And you have to ask yourself, isn't this another way of doing it? Just so that somebody out there can make money off of your naivety. And that's exactly what it is, they're saying you pay X number of dollars, like you said, anywhere from, say hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars to be a part of this. Then they want you to go out and they want you to spam everyone. And they want you to also, pay for more ads on top of this. And if you're in a box set with 40 other authors at 99 cents, you've got to remember you're only getting 35% royalty on that. And then comes time to divvy that up. And it's going to be, they're going to say you're not going to get any more money, or you're not going to get any money back, or they'll give you the very minimum because, one, there's 40 people in the box. So you divide that income by 40. And then what they generally do is they come back and they say, well, we spent this on advertising. You actually owe us more money. And when you look at, say you spend $1,000 times 40 people, that's $40,000. And where did all that money go? It went to them. And so basically you're buying yourself those USA Today bestseller lists, and you can put it on your books, but it's not going to make you any more money. And it's because you don't have that readership. You don't have that following.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, if you were to take that $1,000 and you were to invest it in your business, say you wrote a book and then you took that $1,000 and you put it into, marketing, or you put it into an audiobook, then you'll have more income coming in and you'll have more readers listening and diversifying and getting your name out there further. And then when you start making the USA Today on your own, then you are making money. So it's very, very short-sighted. And if you're in an anthology with 40 other people at 99 cents, there's a very good possibility, depending on where you are in that anthology, that the person who bought the book may only have bought it to read one author and they don't read anyone else. So you're still not getting that exposure.
Yeah.
It's not business-wise to go this path. If just to buy some letters to put on the front of your book that are not going to help you sell any more books.
Yeah.
One last thing, it's also a lot more complicated to explain to your family members and friends when you say, I made it on this book. And then they're like, or I made the USA Today, and they're like, which book? And you have to say, well, it was an anthology with 40 other people. And, the first thing that goes through their mind is, oh, you couldn't make it on your own. So it has that negative effect on you mentally because you don't really feel like you've earned it. And that is so important in our business, because we want to know that our stories are out there and that people want them. And when you don't know, you still got that sense of insecurity.
It's important to go into anything like this aware of why you're doing it.
Yes.
And so just be aware that if you want the letters after your name, that's fine.
Yes.
If that's what you're going into it for, that's fine. If you're going into it because you think you're going to find new readers, you're going to make more sales, that's where you need to just take a step back and just look at what it is. As I say, if you're in an anthology with a lot of other authors, the chances are you are not going to improve your discoverability by that. Being in an anthology is a great way, or can be a great way, to improve your discoverability, but it needs to be in a smaller size, like say 10 or so people in an anthology. Anything more than that, and people, they're not going to read more than that.
Yes.
They will just read the person that they bought it for and then say, I'll come back to that. They probably never do. So if you are joining an anthology to make the list, and you're doing it for the reasons around making more sales, improving your discoverability, or getting your name out there, those things are most likely not going to happen. Now, that's often, those packages are often sold on those three things because that's what all authors want. They want to make more sales. Yes. They want to get their name out there. They want people to find them. So, and that's why people who put these things together use those three, pain points or touch points, because that's what you do in marketing to make a sale. You connect with people with what they want, and that's what you want. So that is what you want. Just be aware. It most likely is not going to happen in the really big anthologies. Now, there are some anthologies out there which sell at full price. They make the USA Today list. They're smaller author in size. Everybody is quality checked. It's edited. You don't pay to join. You actually get money back. There are anthologies like that out there. So if you're looking at an anthology as a way to improve your discoverability, to make more sales, look for an anthology that's going to give you that sort of thing. Have a look at the contract. Actually read the contract. What is it requiring you to do? Can you talk about the anthology outside without fear of retaliation of some kind?
That is a big one. I'm so glad you brought that out, because we've actually met authors that have come close to having their careers destroyed or given up on writing because of the retaliation of these people that are preying on them. So, and it's heartbreaking because these are some really great authors and their stories would have been lost.
Yeah. So be aware of things like that. Have a look for that. Go and just do a search online to see what people are saying about the organisers. That will give you some indication as to the ethics and the morals around the organisers. You're going to be with these people for 6 to 12 months, so you want to make sure that they're people you want to work with. So and do your research.
If they want you to pay, I would walk away. Especially if they're asking hundreds of dollars. Literally, if they are asking you to pay to be in their anthology, walk away, because right there, that should be a huge warning, bell for me. And, read, like you said, read through the feed and get a feel for not only what other people are saying. Authors, if they fear retaliation, there's going to be stuff that's not being said, but see how the organizers are talking. I've been very, very fortunate. I've been in, numerous anthologies. Most of them have been for charities. So I've written the story knowing I went into the anthology knowing that the money made was going towards charity. And that was why I did it. It's like you said, know why you're going into that. I did not go into it to make the USA Today. If it made it, that was fabulous. But my objective was I wanted to write a story and earn as much money as we could for this charity. So that was my focus, and it continues to be my focus. And it comes across after the period where we're doing the donation, there's money left over, then, that's icing on the cake, because then it makes it worth my time to have written that story. And another thing is when you're with somebody, other authors, for 6 to 12 months, and you're doing these things together, getting along with them and not having drama in your life or having to worry that, I've got this, and this, and they're going to yell at me and they're going to blackball me or they're going to do this, that, or the other. That's not something that you want. Having your own business and being an author is stressful enough. So again, like you said, if your sole goal is to get the USA Today on a front of a book cover and you're willing to pay the money to do it, and that's the route you want to go, that's fine. Just do it with your eyes open. But I will tell you from experience that just because you have those letters on the front of your book, that does not mean you're going to make any money on your next sale. It is not going to put you in front of masses, because if you were with 40 other authors, they don't know who you were.
Even 20 other authors.
Even 20.
Still, discoverability is still really slim. You might pick up 1 or 2 new readers, but you're not looking at the amount that you could find if you invested that money in other strategies.
So, if you want to be in this long term and you want to be able to make the list on your own, then you need to invest in yourself, and you need to invest in your business, and you need to invest in your writing time. Hold it to you. Time is literally the most precious thing that an author has. and they never have enough of it.
Absolutely. It's so true. So be aware, what are you going into it for? And then have a look. Is it something that I can spend my money in a better way to achieve the result that I'm looking for?
Yes,
I
fantastic
guess key
advice.
message, be aware.
And stay away from the demented symbiotes out there.
Yes, the drama llamas.
The drama llamas.
I've worked in a few anthologies, and I have to say there gets to a certain point where it's like herding cats. So just be prepared. If you're in an anthology, there will be those periods where it will feel like everything's out of control, or people are doing things and some people aren't, and so there's all that sort of stuff going on.
And if you're the actual organizer, it's more like herding squirrels.
Yes. So just be aware, it's not all obviously, rainbows and unicorns, but anthologies have a place, most definitely. You just need to know what you're going into it for. Does it meet the expectation that you're going into it for? And we've presented you with two different options there as to what those expectations could be and what they look like. Okay.
Again,
well, we hope this has been helpful.
advice.
So when you're next thinking of an anthology, just keep these in mind. Whatever you do, we hope that you do something that moves your business forward so that you can stay writing, because that's what we really want. That's what we're passionate about, is keeping authors writing so we can enjoy all the really good stories.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. We've got way more information we want to share with you to increase your book sales. So please come and join me at facebook.com. Get my book out there.